Hello everyone, and welcome. Before you do get into this video, make sure you do subscribe if you are not already. About 99% of the people that watch this guide series are not subscribed. Disclaimer here, however you make your build or however you play your build is fine. I am making this guide for people who want to know how to use Curse of Ramin's Ember, and for people who have not used it, or for people who are trying to get back into using Curse of Ramin's Ember. When you use Curse of Ramin's Ember, your weapon turns bright green and is surrounded by a green lightning and cloud aura effect. The way Curse of Ramin's Ember works, on proc, an explosion will happen, kind of like detonation, and will set your opponent on fire. Since this enchant is a curse, it also has a downside. When you proc the explosion has a chance to give your opponent a random amount of temporary health. For medium, during my testing, you would need 3 hits in quick succession to activate this enchant. I don't know the numbers concretely because the enchant just came out, but in my testing, that's what I found worked. I would recommend using mediums and heavies for this enchant. If this enchant is working how I think it is, that means heavy should require the least amount of hits to activate the explosion, just like all the other hit-based enchants like detonation. In PvP, this is a pretty niche enchant. Since this enchant does proc flame, I do believe a bunch of flame talents would be able to be paired with this enchant. The explosion, I do not know if it can execute, but it would be good for explosive builds as well. This enchant is really good to catch people off guard with flame and a surprise explosion damage. The temporary health though is a downside. In PvE, I do not believe this enchant grants monsters temporary health, and this enchant when procced will just grant the life weave flames on the monster slash boss that you're using it on. Overall, this is a pretty interesting enchant. It seems decent in PvP during my testing. In PvE, it's great because it procs flame. If you have agitating spark, I do believe this might spread those life weave flames. But overall, this is a pretty solid enchant in PvP to catch your opponents off guard, especially if you have good comboing builds that can make your opponent stay on fire as long as possible. Build suggestions for Curse of Ramin's Ember would probably be heavy and medium builds like I stated earlier. These builds would be able to proc the enchant's explosion sooner, and you have a wide variety of weapons that you can use. And in this update that this enchant was added in, they added motifs, which will allow you to even do more mix-ups with crits and weapons that you like to use. The way you can obtain Curse of Ramin's Ember is by going to Great Hive and fighting Great Hive golems. These golems have a chance to drop the enchant stone, which then you can use on any weapon you want. It does not drop from layer 2. You cannot get this enchant from the Deep Shore fossil. This enchant does not drop from Mage mode, and you cannot find this enchant on weapons and chests. You can only get this enchant from Great Hive's golems. This has been the Curse of the Ramin's Ember guide. I hope you did find this guide useful. If you did, please do share it, like the video, leave a comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Now with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.